Welcome back to another episode, which is related to the Pride Month. I'm really glad to have Joyston and Sugith today. So thank you very much, both of you, for joining in. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for inviting us as well. It's a privilege to be able to talk about ourselves and try to propagate a positive message to people during the Pride Month as well. Being a same-sex gay couple, I really appreciate that you're getting in touch with us and giving us the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Yeah, my pleasure. So why don't you guys introduce yourself, like the work thing and how, work life and what all you do and all of that. That would be great.
Yeah, so I am Sugith, 35, and I work for a hotel group in sales and marketing. I've been in hospitality for, about 15 years now. So, and originally from Sri Lanka, but grew up in Italy and then traveled here and there. And here I'm in the UK now. And that's a little bit really about myself.
I'm Joyston and I'm 25. I'm a CAD administrator, so computer-aided design administrator. I work for a manufacturing company called Kohler, so specifically Kohler Moreira. I have lived in the UK for about 6-7 years now. Originally from India, but lived all my life in Qatar. And the rest now here in UK. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. And we both are in a civil partnership. That's something as well. We just recently formed a civil partnership in April this year. So yeah.
Beautiful. So how did you guys meet? I think you've answered this question for 100 times, but again, how did you guys meet? Yeah.
So we met on platform called Tinder, like you all know. Nothing special, but so a little bit about the story of how we actually matched on Tinder, because you have to be sort of I guess in a local area, unless you're using a premium version, which I was actually using. Shows how desperate I was to actually find someone. But anyway, so I was in London and I was visiting my friends, and Sugith had just come back from his backpacking tour in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, Southeast Asia.
We basically matched. Started talking, just initial chats on Tinder, and then moved on to WhatsApp. Had video calls. Lots and lots of hours and hours of talking. Finally met in Oxford after 3 weeks of talking.
2 or 3 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, this was all in 2018, by the way. November we matched of 2018. December we met in Oxford for our first date. And then rest is history. And now we are in a civil partnership. So
Okay. And how does that feel? How does this feel, that finding the right person? Or how does this feel to you, Sugith, and how does this feel to you, Joyston? Yeah.
If finding the right person is really important, but what I want to say is your happiness only depends on yourself. It's not anybody. Yes, the lives can be better with someone who understands you, who understands you, and who supports you in everything you do. But your own happiness, it doesn't depend on anybody else. And it's really nice to be with Joyston. And although we are really both very strong, opinionated people, and so sometimes it could create arguments, which is normal in a relationship. You can be any side, straight, gay, lesbian, you name it. But it's normal in a relationship to have disagreements. And yes, it's really nice. And having formed the civil partnership, that made our relation a bit more stronger and special.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a relationship, you could be like anything, but having formed the civil partnership, I think it has changed slightly to better. And yes, it's really nice. And he's one in million. So yeah,
cheesy lines, but okay. What I was gonna say was, I think being with him, we have grown a lot. I have grown a lot as well. From a simple thing of fashion, let's just say, he has literally told me a lot of things in terms of fashion, in terms of certain things around the house, certain sort of chores that you do, the way you do them, so little bit of things, but also in terms of how would I say this, pushing yourself, actually following who you want to be. My whole like force, like coming out with my parents, and maybe we might talk about this later. He was sort of one of the inspirations for that to happen. So, see, these important things, they matter when you are with the right person, because, you connect on different levels. Yes, you are two individual different people, because that is necessary. Like, as they say, opposites attract, right? And then you also connect on same different levels. Like, he and I are 10 years in the age gap, but I don't feel that. Like, I don't feel that at all. Like, I feel like we, like, how do I say, sink in really well. After a civil partnership, I would personally say that I feel like it's showing our commitment to each other, right? Like, we are being serious about it. We're not just boyfriends anymore. We are trying to show that we are committed. There are responsibilities that we take care of. So yeah, I think we have mainly just grown since we've met, like, as people, to be honest. So
okay, and yeah, totally. And I think Sugith, what you said, that as a person, as a humans, we are tend to have arguments and disagreements, and I think it's not with any relationship. It was humans. Humans were born to have disagreements and have that. And Joyston, you rightly said that a person, when somebody comes in your life and is somebody different with is his or her or them own decisions and own opinions and own choices, we learn and grow from their journeys and from their works. And totally agree to both of your points what you said, and try to keep up here. So coming to the cultural part of it, how did things happen with your families when you said them? How does that happen? Because you both are from the South Asian culture. You are both South Asians. Of course, some different cultural things and all of that different stuff would be there. But how were things when you said your parents that we just want to, we like each other and we want to marry? Yeah.
Mine was very different because I didn't really come out as to say, oh, mom and dad, here I am, I'm gay. I never did that. So when I was about 15, I think, my brother discovered. So all he really said was, be safe. And then we never after that had any conversation about it. And then after a few years, my mom and dad and my sister, they all found out. Again, they were really supportive. And what all they said, again, even then, was absolutely fine with what you do, as long as you keep it yourself. So, in an Asian background, all they think about is the society, what the society can say and what they think about. And so that's what the priority was for them. They were fine with what I was doing, but they knew what I was doing, who I was dating, all knew about it. However, all they said was, yes, just keep it yourself. Don't create a lot of publicity or put it out there. And so I lived that life for, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years. And then, and then obviously slowly, as soon as I met with Joyston and we started making things a bit more serious, so I introduced him to my parents. So they all loved him. And they actually got more closer than I'm probably close to my parents. They talk more than I do speak to my mom and dad. And even to my brother, him and my brother are really close, which is I'm really happy about. And so it's just, I think it's a lot of the fact that they want to keep the society, that image you have, especially in a society. And that was probably the main thing. And after Joyston came out, things have changed dramatically, both for my parents and his parents. So I think that was a really good thing. Cultural difference is only that mindset where they think, oh yeah, we need to keep that perfect image out to the world. That's probably.
I would agree to him as well. Like, that's, I mean, initially, even before my parents told me to keep things to myself, when I first came out, I was 19. So, and being in UK, I mean, I came to UK to actually study, but I didn't realize that I would discover myself as well. Like, that being gay is fine. It's not a sin, because I come from a Christian Catholic family. So having firstly accepted myself, okay, that was one part of my journey, sort of the burden going away. Having my friends support me as well, who came from different cultures. So one was British, the other one Indian, actually. a Polish friend, and also Brazilian friend. So they were the ones who actually sort of like helped me accept myself first and be happy for who I was. When I first told my parents, it didn't go well. Okay, like is a general majority, I guess, that happens with coming out of Desi kids. Is all your parents have expectations. They have all these dreams for you that they couldn't maybe achieve, and therefore they want you to do it. So they work their ass off basically to raise you, and they want you to be successful in life, like any parent would. That is fine. But they didn't expect this to come out from me. So like that I was gay, and I'm the only child as well, and I'm the only person in my family who can continue my generation. So the Moreira family name. I mean, that's how the thoughts are, right? So, I mean, yes, there is surrogacy, there's adoption, but they didn't think about all of that at that point of time. So it didn't go well. For a few years, it was back and forth, arguments. I kept my identity, my sexuality actually hidden from them, because I didn't want them to either, have those sort of arguments again, because I was mentally tired. But at the same time, I wanted to live my life here, openly as I was. I was open with my friends here. It was only with them and family and extended family that I had it hidden. But when I got my first job at 22, that's when I took a stand. And because my dad was not looking after me anymore. So I had the independence to actually, stand for who I was. And the way it came out was like indirectly through like family, me telling a family member, and the family member sort of like told some other people, and my mom came to know it. But that's another long story. But anyway, so I stood up for who I was, and from 22 to 25, just actually, I would say in March of 2021, that's when I forcefully came out to the whole world, basically on Facebook, saying that, guys, this is who I am. Accept me or do not accept me. If you accept me, that's fine. If you want to understand what it is to be gay or part of the LGBTQIA plus community, then please do ask me, what it is. I'm happy to be able to take my time to make you, understand what it is to be gay. So my parents, again, didn't like that. Yes, they were, at this point of time, from 22 to 25 of age, they were telling me, we are happy for who you are, but keep it to yourself. Do not tell it to the, it's the same mentality crossing over here, so do not tell it to anyone else. And I wasn't fully happy, because I am not being my true self with my cousins, with my extended family members, so whoever that would be that I wanted to share it, or my family friends. And it was enough, like in March that we were having arguments. My parents came to visit me in UK. My parents knew about it then, that we were forming a civil partnership as well. And they told me that we're coming here for your happiness, but you need to also keep it quiet. So you should not be telling it to anyone else. So as long as that is there, we are fine as well. Just understand we are coming here for your happiness. So you see, like I had to juggle between the emotions, where should I be thinking of just about myself and my happiness here, or also of my parents' happiness, where they don't want me to tell it to anyone. And there came a point where, it was just too much. My parents were telling me that, oh yeah, we will tell everyone in a year's time, or when you come of a, sort of like a marriageable age, if that's even a word. But like when they say, like when you're like 28, 29, when people start questioning
when's the right time,
like, oh, why is he not getting married? At that point of time, my mom was saying that, oh, they're going to tell them, yeah, he doesn't like girls, that's it. So I can't wait until then. We are forming a civil partnership. We formed it in April, right? So in March, I was having these arguments with my mom. And she was like, oh, yeah, we'll tell in a year's time, blah, blah, all of that. I was like, how am I going to celebrate my special day if I don't have my loved ones around me? Yes, my parents are there, but what about my family members? So that's when I came out fully. I was like, no more of this, back and forth going and like waiting and waiting and waiting. I was doing it selfishly because I was thinking that this is the right thing I was doing. And to be honest, it did turn out to be right, because now, and even my mom told me this, that it's good that you actually came out. We don't have to keep the secret anymore. or have this sort of guilt that our son is gay, because you know how they think, right? Like that gay is not like normal. It's sort of like
Abnormal.
no, it's sort of like a shame in the society, like, oh, your son is gay, and you know, blah blah, all of that. So anyways, now after that day I came out, we had a lot of support from our family, some of our family members, not all of them. Family friends were even more supportive, and they were supportive of my parents as well. Like they were making them understand that it is fine, don't not worry about it, your son has done enough, you know, like for you to be proud of. So, and then, you know, they have calmed down so much, and now they are totally the opposite of what they were, you know, when I was 19 and I came out to them. And they are like, literally, we are like family, like proper family. Like Sugith is like their son-in-law already. Like, even though he is, yeah, but like, because we consider our civil partnership more sort of like an engagement, and we really want to do a proper wedding in a few years' time. So anyways, so that's the reason of the son-in-law bit. But yeah, it's all fine now. Like, I'm happy I took that stand, even though it was the most scariest thing I've done in my life. But I'm happy I did it, because in the end, it did turn out to be good.
And, you know, understanding yourself and exploring yourself and about your own sexuality and understanding that, what does it help you guys? How does it open your minds, and what do you guys learn from the experiencing of your, you know, you had bad people. I won't quote them as bad people. It's just how they were. They had the culture and how they read and how they knew things. It was just their thing and their issues they had that time. So my question to you: you got bad comments and not support of everyone you loved and you thought would be a good person, and then they tell bad things about you. And then you have a lot of good people who come and then tell you that, wow, we are very happy and we support you, whoever you are. We don't care about the sexuality, but we care about you. You are a person, and we have known all of that, right? So what does these two different things and so many different experiences and all of that help you, and what does it teach to both of you? Yeah.
For me personally, that is sort of like, as a person, I don't really care about what other people say. So I'm like, okay, if you don't want to be in my life or don't talk bad about me, absolutely fine. Do it yourself, as long as you don't involve my parents. Absolutely, that's all I want to say. And where the support you get the people, what we want is to be patient, really. I think in my perspective, if you are not patient enough, they will understand you. It's with my parents, when I came out first, all my brothers said, well, just be patient, just give them a little bit of time. And by giving them a little bit of time, they got to realize, oh yeah, this is actually absolutely fine with everybody. They knew, even our close friends and family, they were all accepting. They accepted what we are and who I am as a person. And I think that's, for me, is mainly be patient and try to educate them as much as you can. And that's the formula to be happy and to make them understand as well, I think.
Yeah, I agree to that. Like, first of all, with people who are homophobic, you can educate them as much as you want to and want to spend your time in. But I would also like caution you where, you know, sometimes there are ignorant people. Like the more you tell them, it's like going from one year and then coming out from the other year. It's just a time waste. So you need to know when to stop. Okay. You can only do so much. But I mean, this is if they're your friends or your not colleagues at work, because I was going to come to that, if it's your family members. But if it is something that is happening at work, they're ignorant of who you are and they're mocking you or they're bullying you or they're doing something like that, that's when you need to take action towards it. Like, for example, you need to go to your HR, talk to them about what is actually happening. You know, if there are these sort of rights in these specific countries, because in UK that does happen. In India, I'm not 100% sure. I know that there are some companies who are like that, but there are also companies that still need to improve upon, you know, these sort of aspects and support of, you know, equality, you know. I agree to what he said. Like, you need to be patient. Like, when you're coming out to someone, whether it is homophobic or not homophobic people, accepting people, you need to be patient with them, because it needs to sink in their system, basically, to know that, okay, yeah, this person is actually gay. Sometimes they know it already and they're just waiting for you to come out of respect. But sometimes they don't. And we, as like members of the community, we need to also know that, yeah, we have to wait. You can't just like wish for everything to be all good in like the moment you just come out. No, it doesn't. It's like the amount of time it took for you to realize, that you are gay, bi, lesbian, whatever that is. You also need to give the same amount of time to your, your parents, your friends, whoever that you are coming out to. And education is important, because some of them don't understand what it is to be gay. Like, for example, my parents, they didn't know what it was. Some of my aunties, they didn't know what it was. So you need to like sort of take your time to educate, be patient with them, and educate them on what it is. Tell them life experiences, talk about history, talk about, I don't know what, tell them to watch some movies that are pro LGBTQIA plus. So like, for example, Evening Shadows on Netflix. I always tell people to watch these things, because that's when they understand what it is to be gay, what are the hardships of people that are going through these, what are the mental traumas, what are the issues that happen or arise within the family. There's another movie called Prayers for Bobby. It's a very wonderful movie. It's based on a true story again. And it shows, like how a gay child is coming out to a very Catholic family. Unfortunately, he killed himself in that movie because, it's a true story. So he killed himself because his mother wasn't accepting. But in the end, she becomes an activist. So you see, like, it's a very powerful movie. So sends a strong message to like whoever you're trying to like make understand. So yeah, these are qualities I would say that we have, I think, learned, like education, being patient, and trying. If you love someone enough, you are going to try your best to like make them understand who you are, fight for who you are as well. So.
Mhm. Wonderful, wonderful. So just some of the questions I'd like to put up here is, what were your mental traumas, mental health problems, and what were you going in your mind when you got to know about yourself? What were your were these things like thoughts coming such as that, am do I have a disease, or am I abnormal, or am I weird, or all of that? And how did you help yourself? Yeah.
So I'll go first here, because when I was a teen, I remember like this is the first experience of me trying to discover myself. And because I was raised in a Catholic family, like whenever we watched any TV shows or anything we saw in the news, like that came about LGBT, my parents didn't have like a good notion towards it. It was always negative. So it was like, oh, why are these people doing like this? All of that sort of thing. They knew what hijras and that sort of things, they knew what they were, but they didn't know about LGBTQ community. So for me, when I knew, or when I sort of was trying to like juggle between the thought of liking a girl or liking a boy, it was always going towards the guy aspect. And for me, it was bad, because initially I had no one to like guide me towards that it is fine to be gay. I didn't even know what gay was actually when I first thought about myself. And yeah, there were nights that I was crying badly. I used to pray to God, because I am religious to an extent, that to help me be straight. That was my initial thoughts, because I was thinking that this is a disease, like you said. This is a sin. I'm going to be punished for it. And this is not normal. And it is sad, because I wish I had someone who could tell me then that, it's fine the way you are. One of the other important things, so we were never taught about this in school. Okay. So that is one thing, we should be taught about, along with sexual education. We need to be taught about sexualities as well, because a lot of bullying can happen in school just because someone is feminine, just because they are hanging around with girls. It could be because of that as well. So anyways, so when I then came to UK, that's when I kind of found comfort in knowing that, okay, gay people exist. My initial thought when I first came to UK about gay people were that they're very touchy, or they're going to like really, kind of invade your personal space, and they're going to like grab you somewhere, and they're going to make you feel uncomfortable. That was my initial thoughts of what gay people were, because I didn't know much about it. So when in my own group of friends, when one of us came out, you could understand the person, what the person had gone through, getting to know the experience, and you can reflect it on yourself, because you might have gone through the same experiences. And that makes you feel a little bit better because you don't feel out of this world. You don't feel out of place, basically. So that's when, I kind of calmed down a little, and that's when I accepted myself. And once I accepted myself, that's when I was like fully and truly happy. I didn't have to worry about like sort of what people are going to say, like log kya kahenge sort of thing, So yeah, I think that's how I would say my journey of knowing like that I was gay was.
Yeah, mine was slightly similar to yours. And yeah, there was moments where I thought, oh, why am I like that? And if I could go back and be sort of normal, if you will. And then, yes, I've thought about a few times, and stress and mentally not completely there in terms of feeling guilty for some reason and everything, mainly because of my parents. That's like, I don't want to disappoint them and sort of thing. But however, I still enjoyed, I made myself busy and explore the world and enjoy and discover more. I think that's how I got out of that phase. Rather than feeling guilty about something, I thought, okay, might as well enjoy who I am. And went out there, and that was a non-stop enjoying situation until like, I don't know, recently.
Okay. So just one more, for a few more questions is, what would be your advice to anybody who wishes to come out, and what do you think could be right way to come out and not create some kind of things, and if anybody, then if their parents and their friends are not supportive, how could that person like help himself deal with itself? Yep.
I think that isn't a right or wrong way to come out. I think what it matters is, what do you feel as a person? Do you think it's the right time to come out? Do you strongly feel that you want to come out to this person or family and it is the right time? As I was just saying to him earlier, there's no set timeline. Everyone's personal situation is very unique, and it all depends on your personal circumstances. And if you feel like you will really want to come out, then you know strongly that's who you are. That's when you should do it. Just do how you feel. Just follow that gut feeling you have. And yes, sometimes it's not going to go according to your own plans, what you have in your mind. And there are places, there's people who support these kind of situations. You can talk to them, learn about how the situation went. I'm sure Joyston has a lot more to add to that. But yes, just follow your heart and do what you feel like doing. Don't stress out about how it's going to turn out to be. Yeah, it is not easy. I'm not going to fluffy around about it. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a difficult journey. As I said, sometimes things could be really, really easy. As I was just saying to you earlier, when my brother found out about myself, he never said, we never talked about it. All he said was just be safe. It could be something like that. And just, you have your support, your family support. But sometimes parents always know who you are. And they might not accept it, but they always know. And sometimes they might be really, really easy to go along with. And then sometimes it might be really difficult, like with mine and Joyston's parents. But just do what you feel like doing, and when you feel like doing it. Don't say, oh yeah, the other person come out at X age, I want to do it at the same time. There's no set line or set timeline for that.
Yeah, I mean, to add to that, I would say so when I came out, I told my uncle first, actually, because I felt like he was my elder brother, and I could open up to him. I wouldn't face sort of rejection straight away from him. So what I'm trying to say here is, if you know someone that you feel like you can trust a lot and you can, open up to them, it might help you, lessen your burden a little bit. When you open up to someone, you're actually telling them who you are, you feel a little better, and then if they are supportive enough, then that's even better. You need to make sure that you find people or have people around you who are supportive. Maybe even talk to people who are from the community. There are so many things on social media these days, like on Instagram, on Facebook, any other places where, they have communities of people who have these anonymous chats or who are willing to talk to you. There is even a group of parents called Sweekar the Rainbow Parents in India, and they are in Mumbai, but they are now around the world. They have groups of people around the world connected to them. and they are parents of LGBTQI plus kids, who are very supportive, to the like someone like me, like if I want to come out to my parents, they are willing to speak to their parents, even to make them understand that this is fine and this is normal. So reach out to these, places. If you have someone who is really close to you, like a best friend or like a trustable friend, then yeah, come out to them, see how it goes. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't come out to your parents first. If you feel like you're more closer to your parents, then yeah, definitely do so. Yes, I came out to my parents when I was 19, but like I fully was able to like stand for who I was when I had my job. That is my situation, though. Not everyone's situation has to be the same way, but this is just my perspective of things, like having some financial stability. But again, everyone's situation is different. If you feel like you want to come out, if you feel like that sort of a weight is there and you need to really talk it out to your whoever you think you can trust, whether it's parents, sister, siblings, or cousins, or like your friends, or I don't know, even a counselor, to be honest. So yeah, that would be our take on.
Yeah, and then as an advice, just always ensure you come out to the friends as well. I know most of the time friends are very supportive. For you to have that support, that helps a lot.
Having a support always helps, especially if you're thinking that your parents are never going to like understand you. At least you have your group of friends to rely on, to give you that emotional support, to give you that comfort, if it really goes bad with your parents. Because, there are cases where, people get disowned and, they are nowhere to go with. Always have that backup as well, because you never know, if it really goes bad. Fingers crossed it doesn't, but always try to keep that backup or that, safe space for yourself, so that you can rely on that too. So
yeah, and also I think a lot of people fail to understand that their parents love them more than anything. Of course, not everybody's story is fairy and very easy. A lot of people go through a lot of problems when they come out, but one easy thing we as humans, as people of a South Asian culture, we forget. Not South Asian culture, I think as a whole world, everywhere around the world, people forget that their parents love them and they would accept them. They love them more than anything they are. If they come out and if they help them, of course there are a lot of parents don't know about it and they never knew about these things, and they were there were not that stories which a lot of stories which came out to them then. So maybe speaking out to them about this could help, and maybe speaking and having conversation and trying to make them understand. Of course, all the points as you said, trying to educate them and trying to speak with them, having conversation with them, helping somebody, telling somebody to explain them these things could really help. So yeah, again, thank you very much for giving your time. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for sharing your experiences and journeys and all of that. Again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. And again, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No worries. Thanks a lot for like giving us the opportunity to speak as well. Really appreciate it, and really appreciate you taking your time to do such talks. So thank you once again.
My pleasure.